want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children.
That was Utah Governor Spencer Cox delivering a speech on the death of Charlie Kirk, which occurred tragically just a few hours ago at a Turning Point USA event. If you are a conservative, red-blooded patriot living in America right now, the only thing you're feeling is rage. Because at this point, it is so crystal clear, it is so obvious who the true enemy from within currently is. I don't have much to say on this right now because it's a mix of emotions and it's a mix of spite and anger that I'm feeling. Where are we right now at this point in America? Are we just assassinating people we don't agree with? And I'm speaking predominantly to the left right now because you don't see Republicans exhibiting these traits or this behavior nearly as much. Nobody's falling for the gaslighting bullshit that they're pushing all over social media. Well, Republicans commit violence too. Shut the f*** up. We're past that now. It's not Republicans, and you know it. We all know it. Breaking news as I'm recording this video, FBI Director Kash Patel has tweeted, "The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. We will provide updates when available." I also want to point this tweet out right here. This I found very fascinating, and I want to make this public for everyone to see who watches this video. This X user, Narja Galves, may have information on Charlie Kirk's assassination. He apparently has locked his account, but you can see what he was tweeting out there. "Charlie Kirk is coming to my college tomorrow. I really hope someone evaporates him literally." Followed by, "Let's just say something big will happen tomorrow." He replied to somebody who replied to his tweet. Charlie Kirk flat out died in the name of free speech. And as time goes on in America, we see that the liberals despise our God-given sovereign rights, like free speech, the right to bear arms, and now, apparently, that includes even life. Free speech is now the enemy of the Liberal Party, and Charlie Kirk was assassinated today for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, I believe the number one reason he was assassinated today is because of his ability to reach the youth. We've seen this all throughout periods of time in history. Those who are the most eloquent truth speakers, especially those who are able to break through and reach the youth, are the ones who are targeted. They're the ones who are assassinated. They create cultural changes. You see, the Liberal Party is desperately losing touch with the youth, and they know it. This right here is what Charlie Kirk stood for in his own words.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assault, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil.
That was inherently the problem with Charlie Kirk, and that is exactly why he was unfortunately politically assassinated today. He leaves behind a tremendous family and an incredible legacy that will never be forgotten. Most disgustingly today, I have to point out the fact that the liberal behavior on social media was atrocious. Just see for yourself, all of the comments celebrating this man's death really reveal, or should reveal anyway, to anybody with any common sense and morality, how vile and despicable and how far the liberal left has fallen. I, myself, experienced this by posting news of Charlie Kirk's death on YouTube and on Threads and on X, and have received several comments on all of those platforms about how Charlie Kirk deserved it, about how maybe I need to suffer the same fate, how I should be put on a cross, how they can't believe Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck because his head is huge. It's not funny. It's disgusting. I, of course, was naive enough to think that, with social media being the ultimate barrier of real life, that the disgusting Democrat behavior on display on social media would end there, but it turns out it didn't. This is something I discovered just seconds before recording this video. This happened today when Mike Johnson attempted to hold a moment of prayer in Congress. The Liberal Party absolutely erupted disrespectfully.
The chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order.
Like I said, I don't have much to say on this video. This is one of the darkest days in modern American political history, but let that video on C-SPAN recorded there define what the modern day Liberal Party is. It's time for Republicans and conservatives to not allow this moment to discourage us from exercising our rights to free speech, free expression, free thought, debate. It's time for us to actually use this as a moment to rise above, to speak up, and to speak out on the truth of what the Liberal Party has become. They despise being called the enemy from within, and they adamantly deny that. Yet, so far, over the past year and a half, all I've witnessed is concrete proof that they are the enemy from within. The multiple assassination attempts on Trump last year, the Tesla car burnings that resulted in property damage and destruction and vandalism could have cost people their lives right there as well. That was a Democrat-led movement. And let's not also forget the transgender school shooting, where people of faith were openly persecuted and killed. Children were killed. Hell, I would even say the Irina Zarutska stabbing incident on the train. We don't know the politics of the black man who stabbed to death that white woman, but I think it's pretty safe to say he wasn't a conservative, was he? Not to mention the fact that I have a video that was supposed to come out now. I'm delaying it, obviously, to cover this. But in that video, I concretely prove that liberal DEI policies and liberal wokeism and racism was the cause of that man being free in the first place to be able to commit such a disgusting murder in public on the subway. And now we have Charlie Kirk dead. One of the most prominent conservative voices out there, one of the sharpest minds that the conservatives had. By far, one of the best youth outreaches we've had in the Conservative Party. Dead, gone. They are a cancer to American society, the Liberal Party is. And on this channel right here, I advocate for the complete dismantling of the Liberal Party at this point. That is my stance. I'm trying not to give too much of an opinion here, like I said, but I have felt this way for quite a while now, and I may as well say it. We don't need that party to exist anymore. They don't stand for anything American, and the fact of the matter is, they would actually be easily replaced by the modern-day Libertarian Party, who tends to actually defy Republicans more often than assisting them, which is fine, mind you, as annoying as that is. But the Libertarians are now the rational and logical opposition, in many cases, to the Republican Party. Let them represent the new leftists, and let's abolish the current liberal progressive party together as a nation. Let's finally come together and recognize for what it is: evil, vile, anti-American. And I would go so far as to even say satanic. That's what happened today. This was demonic and satanic. Evil. I want to end this video by showing you, this was Charlie Kirk's last post on X. He was advocating for the Ukrainian girl stabbed to death on the subway.
On August 22nd, Irina Zarutska was stabbed to death on the rail system in Charlotte, North Carolina by a savage career criminal.
Her life story, I think, will be told both in the United States and Ukraine for years to come. What do you think the importance of this story is most fundamentally?
This was one of the coldest, most senseless murders I've ever seen. She had no interaction with this guy whatsoever. She was sitting minding her own business, and he just takes out a knife and just decides to stab her. I do say this with some form of just heaviness. I don't like politicizing situations like this, but it just necessitates it because there are so many dynamics at play here. Based on the information evidence we have, the attacker did say, "I got that white girl." The attacker racialized it in his own telling of this situation. And we all know this. Any honest observer of your program knows this, including Van Jones even knows this deep down, which is that, of course, if a random white person on a subway took out a knife and stabbed a black girl senselessly to death, there would be massive media coverage, there would be policy changes, there would be people having to apologize for this. We saw this in George Floyd, and yet, for whatever reason, this situation has not garnered even a fraction of that kind of outrage or backlash.
In the caption of this tweet, he stated, just around 5 hours ago, time of recording of this video, if we want things to change, it's 100% necessary to politicize the senseless murder of Irina Zarutska because it was politics that allowed a savage monster with 14 priors to be free on the streets to kill her. It's time we buckle down and get tough on crime, impose much stricter consequences, and just like in the case of Irina Zarutska, where Charlie Kirk himself was calling for us to politicize the senseless murder of her, we need to also follow suit and openly politicize his murder as well, because nobody should be fooled by this. It was purely politically motivated, and it was purely because of his viewpoints and the fact that he was a conservative intellectual debater. Going forward, we have to understand something. We all, on the conservative side of the aisle, could potentially be Charlie Kirk now. This is a very real threat from within our nation, and I call personally for President Donald Trump to take whatever action is necessary to quell the radicalized, violent, liberal left. Do what must be done to restore peace and order in this country. It's time to stop being the bigger person. It's time to stop pretending like the liberals aren't as radical as they are. They celebrated the assassination attempts against President Donald Trump. They tried to persecute him during the Biden regime and throw him in prison. And now they are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death all over the internet. It's time we stop making excuses for their terrible behavior. It's time we stop pretending it's not as bad as it really is. And it's time that we recognize just how vile and disgusting the party actually is. Believe them when they celebrate deaths like this. Believe them and take them at their word. That's the message here. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and much respect is given to the incredible legacy that he is now leaving behind. This is a sad day in American history.